Man, you finna stop acting like you the only one getting money around here, man. We get more money than you. Man, I got a G for every bump on your face, man. This is the culture that we come from. Those dudes ain't even rappers. When street dudes get money, whether they rap or not, they do this. It's not a rapper thing. It's a culture thing. Rappers come from this culture. They are a reflection
That's not
of the
true
culture.
because we all know suburban rappers that act like the guy. You wouldn't be able to tell they're indistinguishable. Stop it, don't get me. These guys live in suburban areas that are predominantly white. Ain't nobody dropping these guys right here. This is my point right here. This is my point. I'm gonna give an unfortunately controversial take right here that people aren't gonna like. But is it possible that the reason why we like these rappers staying in character so much is because we're just the most illogical community on the world in the world? Like we actually really do believe this stuff when everybody else goes, it's just a show.
Previously on Vulcan Soapbox.
The comedy store, and these rappers were there. And I just want to say, rappers suck. God, I hate them. If everywhere I went, I just acted like I was so much cooler than everyone else, and I was so much tougher than everyone else. And if you try to be silly with me, I go, man, you're corny. Don't be corny with me. Don't play with me. Don't play with me. And all I talked about was how much money I had, and like how I have tons of money, and I never want to be playful, and I never want to be silly, and I just have the attitude, and I talk trash, and I'm like think that I'm above all the rules. You would hate me. Everyone would go, oh, we hate Jeff Dye. He's a jerk. He's always bragging about how much money he has and how much he gets, and he's mean to everyone, and he never smiles, and he's never playful, and he doesn't remember my name. And it's like rappers, the culture of a rapper is trash. The slow walk and the whole thing. It's just like I don't get why anyone would think a rapper is cool.
Real quick, let me address this comment. A rapper, Pam. I'm in the car today. It's different, but I'm in the car. I don't have great lighting, and I'm a Nubian skinned young man. Vulcan, you're muted. We can't hear you.
I had bars too. It's not gonna probably be any good. It's not gonna be funny now. But I was like, you said great lightning. What do you the DeLorean and Back to the Future? It's not gonna be as funny now because my timing's all off. But
yeah, you said it anyway, though, huh?
Yeah.
That was right on time.
Show. That's hilarious. But yeah, so going back, so what y'all think about that one? I mean, you want me to go first, or who wants to tackle that first?
Yeah, somebody has to score demand.
Well, yeah. So for me, I mean, I like that video a lot because what he's saying, and he's a comedian saying this, and another comedian echoed this a very similar perspective. It was Aries Spears when he was talking about this. He says only rappers have a license to just self-grandize and be haughty and pompous and egotistical and ostentatious and all these things. Only rappers can do that kind of a thing. If anybody else in regular life talked about that kind of stuff, you would just be hated. Read the 48 Laws of Power book. Law 46 talks about it. Perfection is reserved for the dead and for gods. So somebody talking about I'm the greatest at this, I'm the best at that. You can't touch me, you can't see me. That brings up envy and strife and hate. And rappers still deal with that stuff. Rappers get killed all the time for people envying them and strife. We just got done talking about something very similar. But the reality is that it's very true. There's something about this fraternity of musicians, specifically rappers, because I think really only rappers can do this, that they're almost unaffected by the normal social rules of how we would judge somebody as far as like their integrity and their character and things of that nature. Like Jay-Z's a prime example. People love Jay-Z. And every single Jay-Z song is about how amazing he is. He literally calls himself Jay-Hova.
Let me take the opposite of this, no matter how much I agree.
How did I know you're gonna do that?
Because you know me. What people don't understand is, and I don't understand why this is a problem. One, this is what the culture is built on, right? This is what the original culture is built on. The MC gets on the mic. He's rapping over the DJ's beats because obviously the DJ started as the star of the show. He's telling y'all how good he and the DJ are. That's the culture, right? I don't know why people can't look at rappers like wrestlers.
There we go.
Wrestlers get on TV, they talk all sorts of trash. You got your heels and you got your
Let me tell you why. Let me tell
baby
you why
face.
you can't look at rappers as wrestlers. Because when that wrestler is not wrestling, he speaks like this. And I think I'm gonna go get me a nice croissant from. That's how he speaks when he's not wrestling.
You didn't change your voice at all.
Right.
Bro. That is hilarious.
They're the best actors, though. They don't break character. That doesn't mean it's not a character.
No, they're not the best actors. They want you to really believe this stuff. Like on their Twitter, they stay in character. They stay in character.
I said they never break character. That's what I said.
Oh, well.
Tupac sitting on cameras. DMX saying, "I'll pop a nigga for him. I'll pop a nigga for him." These guys aren't playing a character. They really believe they're that person.
But hold on. When you're talking about certain guys, right? And if you this is the culture. Think about where most of our rappers come from. They come from that culture. They come from
That's what
the street
sells.
culture.
Yeah.
No, we don't know that.
I said a good, like most of them, a good amount of them. You talk about DMX. DMX is valid in the streets of New York.
DMX, we would consider him valid.
Jay-Z is validated in the streets of New York. Like these
Jay-Z
guys
had a really good mother who took really good care of him. He chose to go that route because he wanted girls. That's why he did it.
Again, I'm not saying that it's not. I'm saying this is the culture. This is like rappers talking about comedians. Like, man, every time I get around this comedian dude, he always trying to crack jokes and be funny. Like, that's what they do. Why are you upset at that? Like, I can't believe, like, I'm from the streets, so like we don't really deal with type stuff like that. I get in the public, and this dude trying to be all buddy, like, be a man. Like, if we heard the opposite of that, we would be like, man, why this guy being so tough all the time?
Hey, you know what I actually thought about start doing? I actually thought about start doing self-deprecating rap. Just try to like change the the flow, change the in the ocean. There's like a current, change the current. When it comes to that kind of stuff, self-deprecating rap.
It's called compliment battles in battle rap. They do it.
No, that's battle. I'm talking about mainstream. I'm talking about like battle. I'm talking about like mainstream stuff.
You would never make it in mainstream rap that way because that's not the culture. We don't want to hear you self-deprecate yourself. We want to hear you pop your shit. Excuse my language. And again, this is a consumer relationship.
But can we still hold them accountable? Can we still talk about it? If
we talking about it right now. But this guy is saying, the comedian is saying he doesn't understand.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, Freshly. If there was if a rapper was rapping about sex trafficking, right?
Oh my god.
Could we just say he's just in character? He's not really living that life, or could we be like, hey, come on, man, like that's too far?
Okay, yes, we could, but here's the thing: the criticism would be coming from the consumer. So we as consumers, we don't condone that. That's why we would criticize that. It's a consumer relationship. As consumers, what they rap about, part of the reason they rap about it is because we consume it at a crazy pace. It reflects
most popular
exactly people who look at those rappers and they see themselves, and people who never even knew about that, they look at it as storytelling. So when you're a comedian, you're asking stuff like, why do they? It's like asking why you as a comedian do what you do. It's your job. This is the culture you come from. This is your skill set, your art.
The guy said that even outside of the music, they could be out somewhere, and it's like, man, why are you laughing? I mean, Kevin Hart, I think has a stand-up where he says, man, I'll kill you. You funny. You always try to be funny. I'll kill you. Like, it was one of those. You remember that Kevin Hart stand-up when he's talking about that? Like,
he said, why you so tough all the time?
Huh? Yeah, you gangbanging on breakfast?
But okay, again, you would have to say, because there's plenty of rappers.
Hello, Fresh. Just want to say, comment for Nick Dozier, what y'all discussed tonight. He said, Snipes is right about that. Right about what? Type it in the chat. Go ahead, Fresh, finish.
I'm saying, what you have to consider where certain people come from. Like, and I'm not saying it's not an act. I'm saying if you're a street dude, this is what street dudes do. When street dudes get money, whether they rap or not, here's the thing: when street dudes get money, whether they rap or not, they do this. It's not a rapper thing; it's a culture thing. Rappers come from this culture; they are a reflection.
That's not true because we all know suburban rappers that act like the guy. You wouldn't be able to tell they're indistinguishable.
But I said it's a reflection of the culture. They don't all have to come from the culture. But listen.
Now, Freshly, you know what city I'm from. You know, I remember there was a guy used to pick up to play basketball, and he would put on there North Click. Now, you know what in the city we're from, North is not getting no kind of street credibility.
I mean, they keep trying.
Yeah, but he would have on his shirt North Click. You know, North Side Click. You know what I'm saying? It was like, what?
Tragic.
Yeah, it's tragic. And so my whole point in saying this right here is that, like, even a suburban kid knew that he had to have a certain bravado. And he carried that when he wasn't rapping, when he was on the court, everywhere, because that's the way that you get respected within the black community as a black man.
Okay, so we're talking about why rappers do that. You just proved my point. Rappers do that because this is how you get respect from the consumer community. We don't respect you if you don't do that. We don't consume your product, your art, if you don't reflect what we like. All right. So to the question, the comedian is asking, why would anybody like that? There's a whole culture, subculture that consumes that music from people that look like me to people that look like him. It's clear somebody hurt him. He don't understand consumer relationships.
Well, let's go ahead. We got some comments here.
That's a good point, Nick.
The consumers will dictate criticism. We comment because we relate to it. Rappers have bravado because it's a competitive sport unlike any other genre. Now, that part is definitely true. It is the most competitive genre.
Man, you finna stop acting like you're the only one getting money around here, man. We get more money than you. Man, I got a G for every bump on your face, man. This is the culture that we come from. Those dudes ain't even rappers.
But the thing is that I mean, and we got this. We're going off, and I don't know if you want to play the video again or not. But so people that are just tuning in can watch it. But you know, in this video, the guy's not just talking about within the context of the music. Even when these guys are like off, they're clocked out from their job, they're still doing it.
Let's play it again.
Right. So let me one more thing. Vulcan,
hold on.
Is it not career suicide to break character as a rapper? Do we not celebrate quote unquote realness? If DMX raps like that on wax, and then he's a nice guy outside of that, his career.
But we actually know
shout out to Jeffrey, man.
Yeah, we actually know that DMX actually was like that outside of the music, though. We actually
we didn't know he was
and again, he was a very troubled individual.
Drake is one of the biggest. I said Drake is probably the biggest rapper in the world, not just the country, in the world. And that dude was Wheelchair Jimmy.
All right, hold on.
He's still talking about, what
coming in from for Nick. He said, but Vulcan, you also got to remember, most folks don't like their lives. That's why they want to hear that fairy tale instead of honesty.
That I definitely agree with.
Again, it's a consumer relationship.
Let's listen to this guy though, because just so everybody can be on the same page what we're talking about here.
He hurt somebody. So a rapper took his girl. I'm almost certain of it.
Man, hey man, that boy is. Yeah, definitely hurt.
The Comedy Store, and these rappers were there, and I just want to say, rappers suck. God, I hate them. If everywhere I went, I just acted like I was so much cooler than everyone else, and I was so much tougher than everyone else. And if you try to be silly with me, I go, man, you're corny. Don't be corny with me. Don't play with me. Don't play with me. And all I talked about was how much money I had, and like how I have tons of money, and I never want to be playful, and I never want to be silly, and I just have a attitude, and I talk trash, and I'm like think that I'm above all the rules. You would hate me. Everyone would go, oh, we hate Jeff Dye. He's a jerk. He's always bragging about how much money he has and how much he gets, and he's mean to everyone, and he never smiles, and he's never playful, and he doesn't remember my name. And it's like rappers, the culture of a rapper is trash. The slow walk and the whole thing. It's just like I don't get why anyone would think a rapper is cool.
Hey, I'm gonna be
Okay.
honest,
We
though.
got to
He-
address his points now. We got to address his actual points now. We've heard it twice. Why is a rapper? I can't see why anybody would consider a rapper cool. He also said they were at a show. So mind you, he's not talking about the music. He's talking about at a show. They're acting like this at a show. Sorry, go ahead, y'all. Go ahead.
Here's my point, though. These are possibly, I'm just gonna say possibly. These are possibly street dudes. These are possibly dudes from a culture that feeds, that preys on weakness. If you play too much, if you joke around, if you smile, this is a legitimate culture that we come from. That some of us come from. This is not like something that people created for rap. This is a legitimate culture. In certain places, if you show your teeth, you fool. If you laugh too much, if you joke, you're fool. Either that or you have to constantly prove that I laugh, right? Ha ha ha. I do this joking stuff, but I'm still a killer out here. You have to prove that as a coat of armor in the streets. You got to maintain a certain, I won't say gotta, but they feel that you have to maintain a certain demeanor so you don't get tried. So and to be honest with you,
Stop it. That I
Come
mean,
on.
I like that. I like that
that's-
comment Nick said right there, man.
that's
Pull that
a-
up, man.
We're gonna read these comments here real quick, but I want to say that's a small part of the picture. I mean, it's not just they keep the bravado going because they don't want to get dropped. You get women off of this stuff. You get endorsement deals to destroy your community off of this stuff. We got to give the full picture here. I'm not saying what you're saying is wrong, but we got to wait. We got to wait these things. We got to wait these things. How much of it is I don't want to
you're
get
getting
killed?
criticism on the culture.
Hold on, real quick, Freshly. You're saying if I drop it, they'll get me. These guys live in suburban areas that are predominantly white. Ain't nobody dropping these guys.
They live in those areas. They still travel.
How many
Yeah, they travel to
country
England and Europe
artists
and
done died in the
Zimbabwe.
last 5 years?
Bro, FB, whatever the FB is, FBJ, FB. I don't know his name, but the Chicago rapper, FBK Duck, he got killed in the richest Chicago. They pulled up on him. They shot him a bunch of times. He was around all types of well-to-do white people. He wasn't in the hood. He didn't even live there anymore. He was out shopping in a place that But my point is, I'm not. If we're gonna criticize the culture, then let's criticize the culture. But he's saying he doesn't understand why. The question is,
hold on, first. You said what, Bo?
They're not doing it at the Talib Kweli.
He said they're not doing it
still
at the Talib Kweli.
Yeah. So Freshly brings up a good point. Sorry, go ahead, Anos.
Or Kendrick Lamar, you don't hear about this stuff.
Again, because they're not walking around with that bravado all the time. Talib Kweli's a regular human being. Most deaths a regular human being.
Okay,
If you
again,
walk
but
around with gangster all the time, you can't laugh. And if you gang banging on breakfast, then yeah, boys gonna want to come see you because that bravado is too much.
Okay, is Talib Kweli? Talib Kweli has a subsect of fans. Talib Kweli is not a massively successful rapper, and I love Talib. I love Black Star.
It don't sound like it right now.
But my point is what you. Okay, so there's a culture. There's other pieces of the culture. When you identify yourself with this culture, you have to keep a certain level. You have to keep a certain demeanor. But that's with anything.
Message. No,
that's anything, anywhere. Now, I'm not arguing or debating the detrimental effects that the culture has. I'm saying if you're asking why a rapper would carry himself like that, if he's a street rapper, if he's a gangster rapper, it's necessary, even for his craft, like even for his job. Like that's basically his job at this point. If you're a rapper and you rap about certain things and the public consumes that, they like that. Listen, we like when you talk that ish. When you rap about that type of stuff, we like that. We're gonna consume that. We're gonna give you our money. Okay, this is now a job. This is lucrative to me. If I drop this act, hold on real quick, if I drop this act, I'm food out here. I'm no longer considered real.
All right, stop it. Food out here. Stop. Cut the malarkey. But go ahead, read the comments.
I said Malarkey. All right, Nick sorry Dozier said Duck got killed because it's FBG Duck. Yeah, he got because he
Well, hold
made
on.
a.
I think it's one before that.
Yeah.
Or I think we got started the first one up top.
Right.
He's only referring to.
Oh,
I hear the guy that video has never heard of Don Trip, Starlito. Yeah, who's you referring to, Nick? Might need to bring Nick on. And LaRussell. Yeah, shout out to LaRussell. I like some of this stuff.
He said
Yeah,
he
he-
said at the top. He said he's only referring to gangster rap. We got playful artists as well.
Doug got killed because he's mad. He made a song dissing all the dead in Chicago. They were going to catch him anyway.
hey, Enos looked like he was.
Hey, that song hard too. I ain't gonna cap. It's just so unfortunate.
Enos, you look like you.
Elton Bear said facts. Freshly, there are rappers in the multi-dimensional J. Cole, Propane. Okay, so he just going on this other rappers out here that's not on that.
Oh,
gangster.
this man. Move closer to the router.
You know, y'all played. Okay. And that's what
Hey, I'm gonna keep it real
Appreciate
though.
the
Like,
comments. Appreciate the comments.
hey, I'm gonna be honest with you though, Freshly. Like you said, man, like somebody one of the rappers must have called his girl to the back or something at a show. Cause I mean, I'm not taking no rapper serious for the simple fact, like what Nori said, you just got the worst loan of your life. Why would I even take you serious? Like those deals is crazy, man. Like I don't understand, man. Most of them deals are really they're lying. They're lying. Most of them are lying.
He
Because
said
they're
that
lying. You
I'm
said
saying
money. Huh?
fresh. I mean, fresh. Fresh. I'll say he said the culture is trash. That's what he said. Even though they took the bad deals, their persona, the way they carry themselves is trash. You don't see why people look up to them, although they got the.
I don't. That's what I'm saying. I don't like. I'm like you, like because what I'm saying is I understand that you probably really don't have the money because you took a bad loan. I understand that you it's all smoke and mirrors, man. It's like I don't understand. Like I guess kids are impressionable, but I've never thought that those guys was really like that.
All is extreme, but I see.
I knew you don't look up to him.
No,
bro.
listen. This
Fresh.
comedian is being hypocritical.
I just want to say this piece. But do you agree? It's questioning why people look up to these rappers. That's the question for the panel. He doesn't
I'm gonna tell you
understand.
right now.
He don't understand why people look up to the panel.
We said,
I'm gonna tell you right.
Cool. He said think they're cool technically, but go
Yeah,
ahead.
understand why we think that they are cool.
I'm gonna tell you right now.
I never thought they were cool. Yeah, I never thought these guys were cool.
I'm gonna tell you right now. Just like a comedian who finds his niche of people who can relate to his comedy. Not everyone thinks a comedian is fun. There is a niche of people. There is a subculture of people who relate to that rapper. Even if he didn't do it, he is telling someone else's story. So if I would agree with the comedian wholeheartedly. If there was no such thing as like street culture, or if that didn't exist, and people were just making that stuff up. But there's people who actually live the life, right or wrong, right? I'm not grandizing the actual culture or the life. I'm saying in real life today in America, there's somebody who listens to that, and that is their story. That's what they relate. That's their representation in music. So I like gangster rap because I'm doing gangster stuff out here in the streets, or I like gangster rap because I really wish I was doing gangster stuff. I like that comedian because
but we got to keep it real, y'all. We got to keep it real. You know, what percentage of the population is actually doing gangster stuff? So again, when the way you're phrasing it, Freshly, even though it's true, I think it's a little bit misleading to people who are not as thoughtful, because it makes it seem like you got this 50-50 thing happening. You didn't say it that way. You just mentioned two different sides. But in reality, people that are doing gangster activity in any society in the world, known in human history, throughout the country, throughout the world, is what,
right.
5% maybe?
Yes.
You know, if that, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you got this 5% who actually listen to these and go, wow, that's what I'm doing. And then you got 95% of people going like, that just sounds really cool.
No, but that's my point. It's a consumer relationship. That's what I'm trying to say. Y'all are acting as if there's no reason for them to be doing that. Like, there's no real. I don't understand why you would act like this all the time.
We're not
Because that's
discussing what is a reason for rappers to be acting gangster. The comedian guy is saying they showed up to his show and they didn't want to laugh at jokes. You couldn't be
That's not what he
cool
said.
with-
That's not what he
you couldn't
said.
be you couldn't be human with them because they had to be cool at all times. When a comedian gets off the stage, the comedian he's out of character now. He can be who he wants to be. Rappers get off
That's
the
not true.
stage and they still go ahead.
That's not true, because most comedians actually talk always say that people like, hey, say something funny. Like they want you to, they still want them to be that person
That's what I'm saying. You
off the
said what I'm saying.
stage.
Once they get off the stage, they're not actually, they're introverted. They don't want to talk.
Oh, okay.
So that's what I'm saying. I'm saying once the comedian or the actor in every other arena of life, the person who's playing a role, when they get off the stage, they go back to being human again, except for the gangster rapper.
Again, it's because the culture that gangster rapper is catering
Plies.
to. Huh?
What did Jamie Foxx say about Plies? What did Jamie Foxx say about Plies? You remember that?
That's crazy. Yeah, he hid in the bathroom.
Yeah,
man.
come
Crazy.
on, man. But hold on, we read the comments. We got all the comments we got going on.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. They have to keep that armor on.
We gonna read the comments or what?
Yeah, Nick. Well, every time I try to read them, it's the whole. Nick says some of them be capping, but in cities like LA, Chicago, or the inner city of Atlanta, or Houston, or Detroit, or any of these cities known for violence, you got to be about that. You got to be about that life because they're gonna try you if you haven't been proven. Another comment says, "I'd be amazed at how these dudes take pictures acting gangster with guns. Dudes with pistols die every day in Birmingham. The youngsters love that persona, though."
Exactly.
Everything that everyone is saying, because the question is, I don't know why y'all would look up to them. The question is,
Hold
why
on, hold on.
don't
Did we finish reading the comments?
Yeah, that was the last one.
Okay.
Unless there's some scroll action I ain't seen. Oh,
We got one more from
that's
Steven.
Steve. That's my guy Stevie. Some rappers are really like that, but some know that their type of rap sells to the consumers that y'all are mentioning. You don't have to be in the streets to have gun bars and stuff. I'm white, and I've had some gun bars in my drunken freestyles.
Yeah.
That's true.
But,
Now, let me
hey,
say
look,
this
hold
right
on. One thing.
Let me
You
say-
said, back to Plies though. Do you remember why those guys actually showed up?
Yeah. Talk to yeah.
Remember what Jamie
Tell
Foxx said?
Tell them,
Jamie
St. Bros.
Foxx said they came up there to see if he was really that. That's all. They didn't want to fight with him. They just wanted to see if he was really that guy because they loved his music. So
This is
what I'm saying is,
culture.
I have to keep it on. I have to keep it on.
But he didn't keep it on.
Yeah, it's his
Yes,
mistake.
his career suffered greatly for it. His
So
career
I
suffered
say this
greatly
right
for it.
here. This is my point right here. This is my point. I'm gonna give an unfortunately controversial take right here that people aren't gonna like. But is it possible that the reason why we like these rappers staying in character so much is because we're just the most illogical community in the world? Like, we actually really do believe this stuff when everybody else goes, it's just a show, and you can get out of character when it's over. You can get out of character when it's over. But black people, we actually like we rather live in that delusion. We rather live in that fantasy, and we rather people die over this fantasy. Could it be this it's indicative of how slow we are as an audience?
It could be. I don't think it is though. I think the culture
We're
is.
the lowest. We're the
It's
lowest
not just in
IQ.
gangster rap.
We're the lowest educated.
We see this in R&B. We see this in some of the actors back in the 70s, like Dolomite. He never stopped his character in public. Some of these
breaking
R&B
up everybody, or just me.
I'm sorry? I didn't hear fresh.
I was asking if you were breaking up for.
Oh, okay. Yeah, keep
Nah,
going.
Yeah,
I was gonna say we're the lowest IQ community. We're the lowest educated community. We're the most easily influenced community.
You're
the most-
placing indictment on the
Go ahead.
community, right? Well, I'm just saying if you're placing indictment on the culture or the community, That's one thing.
Well, he said,
So-
I don't see why we think they're so cool. We think they're so cool is because we're dumb enough to believe it. We believe it's actually cool. We believe it's actually good in the world to be like that. A lot, and I'm not saying all of us here, a lot of us strive to be like that.
Right.
It's
Again,
because we have the lowest IQs and we're the poorest educated.
I will agree with that. So if you think, especially in 2024, if you think street activity is cool, you're an idiot. I'll say that. Come see me about it.
But again, that to me is a little bit dismissive because, I mean, that's saying everybody's an idiot basically.
Plies was surprised when Plies did that. Is he an idiot? You mean he was surprised he went into the bathroom? He was like, he was shocked the way he was talking. He was like, I didn't know he talked like this.
No, I said if you think it's cool. I didn't say if you believe it or not.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
I think,
Okay, I don't want to get too far away from the point. I know I feel like Vulcan has moved the conversation to another topic, and I'm okay with that. I'm just saying the first topic is he doesn't understand the whys behind, and I'm telling him it's a reflection of a culture that people are either from or they desire to be. So now we're moving the conversation to why is it that people want to be from that culture or are from that culture.
I don't want to take it a step further. Not that what you're saying is not true. I just don't think I think there's a lower layer to it. You know, one thing about the unsophisticated cultures is it's really just self gratification, hedonism, and that's what that kind of rap is. It's just hedonism. It's just self gratification. It's braggadocious, ostentatious. You know, it's the lowest forms, most basic forms of human existence. Sex. You know, gluttony, you know, lust, gluttony, all the worst forms that most religions say you need to control these things and do it in moderation. The hip hop comes and says, I'm a lavish lifestyle. I'm gonna have on what Pimp C had on a big fur coat in the middle of the beach and big pimping. You know, not big pimping. Was it big pimping? Yeah, big pimping. It's just. I'm not saying we didn't appreciate the visuals. I'm just saying that could it be just our debased, deplorable culture? And these guys are indicative of that because we are just so animalistic.
In a previous.
Who do you mean is we? Like black
That's
folks?
Me and you, St. Broseph, Vulcan and St. Broseph.
Listen, in a previous pod, we talked about how black people are not even the largest group of consumers of hip hop music. There's a whole group of suburban white kids that are really floating hip hop.
Bro, let me tell you.
I do believe, Fresh, we have more attention to it. It cultivates our everyday life.
But
come on, man.
When you say it cultivates our everyday life, you're talking about because some of a good portion of us live in that area. Whether you're in the streets or not, if you come from the ghetto, if you come from the hood, this is your environment. This is what you see going on around you. This is familiar to you.
Stop.
Whether or not you strive. Listen, I don't respect that. I don't strive to be that. That doesn't mean that's not where I came from. That doesn't mean I'm not familiar with it. That doesn't mean
where you came from. Like, why are you associating that particular thing with where you came from? I don't get the association.
Because the things that they're talking about, the topics and the subject that they're talking about are familiar to me. They was right outside my door for the majority of
everybody.
Hello, Fresh. Hello, Vulcan.
Reproduction is sorry, go ahead.
More comments. Twan said, I don't agree. Hey, you gotta expound on it. Let us know what you don't agree about, Twan. All right, Ernest Banks says, rap and hip hop can be.
And that's YDG over there. YDG, what's up, YDG?
YDG.
That's Twan right there. That's YDG, man, the OG.
Where you been?
I went to an all-black school.
Yeah.
Hold on.
I know Marcus Garvey.
Hold on.
Now I'm playing with you, my bad.
On the north side.
Ernest Banks says rap and hip hop can be whatever one wants to express. It's an art grounded in the origin of a tough life on the street, but it's not constrained or limited to that. Music is an expression regardless of genre. That's a good point, Ernest. I think to Vulcan's point, he's saying that our music is an expression of debased behavior and culture.
I definitely agree. That's my uncle right there. I definitely agree with what my uncle's saying right there. But the thing is, that's my whole point is saying What Mozart didn't come from the streets because the streets can't produce Mozart. It can't produce it.
What?
The streets produce my Brown. It's the
no. Almost every street rapper you're talking about was produced from the streets. Talib Kweli was produced by the streets. Kanye produced by the streets. They came from that. This is where they came from.
Now again, this is my issue with what you're saying right there, and I don't want to say too much on this topic, but I'm a splitting hairs on the fact that, like, I'm not saying in a street environment, out of 100 people, you won't have 5 that are going to be Talibs. I'm just saying I don't want to focus on that minority. I want to focus on the majority in the conversation, if it's okay.
Yeah, but be intentional about your language. You said the streets can't produce a Mozart, and when in fact
they haven't.
Would be our estimation. Kanye would be our equivalent to a Mozart. Back in the day, we consider him a musical genius.
Talib's a street sympathizer. That's his problem. He's a sympathizer. He was affected by it too, by being a sympathizer. The worst, the most debased behavior and forms of thinking birthed out of fatherlessness. We put this on the grand scale and pedestalize it for the whole world to see and embarrass ourselves.
Okay, I agree with you. My point is, when you put it on a pedestal, right? The original rappers, whoever the original rappers were, where the culture sprouted, whatever it is now has nothing to do with the origin. The origin sprouted from people telling stories about where they came from, what they were seeing in their day-to-day lives. So you can't. It's hard to act as if the whole culture is based off of hedonistic behavior when really it's just storytelling. At one point, so again, if you are attacking, or if not attacking, I don't want to characterize it like that. If you are criticizing the culture itself, I'm with you on that. If you're criticizing the storytelling of the culture and its success, I can't agree with you on that, because that's what it is. It's telling a story.
Yeah, well, let me wrap up what I'm going to say on the conversation by just going back to what the comedian was saying. They showed up to the show overly cool and thinking they're this grandiose being when they're just a human being like everybody else. And then the last part he said, my second point is just, when he talks about, I don't see people who think these guys are cool. Now, obviously, we can know why they think they're cool, but I'm just saying I do agree with him that we shouldn't think the most obnoxious people of our society that make a lot of money off of, terrorizing the youth with their crazy ideologies. I don't think we should think those people are cool. I think we're the only community that does it to even an extent that we do, that puts the worst of our people on the big screen and says, be like them.
I disagree. I listen to other genres of music, and every last one of them has negative connotations that come from within their communities.
Oh, for sure.
So what are we talking about?
But my whole point, if we just take
10, does that.
If we take 10 random rap songs, like we just go, I don't know how we would do it. Like maybe, I guess we'll do a thought experiment. If we had every rap song that ever existed, right? And they were all on Spotify, we could press random. I'm assuming they have the button for random on Spotify. And just the first 10 that random happened to play, we had all the lyrics up at the same time. And then we did it for country, then we did it for every other genre. I don't think that any of the genres are going to come close to hip hop in that way.
Listen, are we talking about hip hop as a whole? We talking about gangster rap, because you can match up gangster rap with outlaw.
I'm so convinced about what I'm so convinced about what I'm saying. I don't think it even would matter. Now, obviously, if we make the genre more specific within hip hop, my point will be proven even to a further extent. But I'm saying if we just leave it just generic, Will Smith included. We put Will Smith in there. We put the Beastie Boys in there. We put Hip Hop Harry that my kids like to listen to on a little show for kids. We're still gonna have 10 songs, because that makes up such a small percentage of rap that we don't even listen to, for the most part. What did Kanye say? I just use those guys. I use those guys. We don't play that backpack rap stuff. And so my point is saying that I'm convinced that even if we were to just do it random and leave all the genres in there, nothing compared to hip hop as far as just straight out talking about the base forms of human existence. reproduction, to put it in a non-graphic sense, crass materialism, a complete disregard for human life, a complete disregard for the women of your community. No genre on earth would stand even close to hip hop in that regard. If we did it at random, if we had them all the songs that ever existed on random, and we just let it pick, hip hop would destroy the other ones all put together.
No genre on earth comes close to hip hop in terms of success and being consumed.
Because again, when you're talking about the most debased forms of humanity, unfortunately, all of us can relate to that.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I've been saying the whole time. It's relatable, but it's successful.
But it's not cool, as the comedian was saying, to walk around like that, especially after your show's over. You're just supposed to be human now.
No, it is.
It's like a cop. You ever dealt with a cop? You ever dealt with a cop who you're trying to have a regular conversation and he's still acting like a cop? Like, dude, you already know I'm not guilty. Why can't you talk to me like a normal person still?
No, I don't talk to police.
What you mean? What?
I'm trying to tell you.
Next video.
I'm trying to tell you. No, hold on. No. Hold on. Yo,
We knew Freshie was letting this ride. Freshie was not
you know what's funny about that? Enos was ready to do it too. You ain't Enos. You supposed to be an objective listener. You out here saying, "Yo," that man said next video. No.
Well, I was gonna go with Saint Bro stuff, and then we was gonna go ahead, but say your piece, Bro stuff, and then.
Oh man, that's hilarious. Man, I don't know, man. It's a great debate between you guys. Y'all said something earlier, and I know, like, when I do go into because y'all talking about the consumers, I know I do go into like different neighborhoods, especially while roofing. I'm talking about $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 homes, and you got white kids pulling up on each other like, "What's up, gang? What's up, twin?" I'm like, "What?" But they're consuming this, or most of these guys, when you're looking on YouTube, they're like, "Oh, 4K Trey," and I'm just like, man, this is some white kid on here, probably, and they're the ones consuming the music. I mean, I don't know, man. That's all I really got, man.
I want to ask you this, same bro. Do you think
they would black folk,
that white fan base, if they was seen at a comedy club having a good time?
You said what now?
Am I coming out clear?
Yeah, you good.
Yeah, I said if the white fan base see these gangster rappers having a good time at a comedy club, you think they would lose that fan base?
Nah. I don't know, man. Something for some of it's 50-50.
I don't listen to him no more. He's not gangster.
Yeah, it might. Yeah, for sure. That's a possibility. Like, man, I thought he was gonna smack me in my face when I pulled up on him. You know what I'm saying? Or something crazy. I'd say I'd use Nardo Wick in that situation, where his homeboy Dope Fiend, the dude, and he was just trying to take a picture. And Nardo Wick felt like that was a little over the top. I don't know if that's because it was on camera or not. So yeah, I'd say you're probably right. They'd probably be cool with them just being a chill, like, "Oh man, such and such pretty chill, man," and that's about it.
Yeah, but I think a lot of you have some good points. Like I said, I think it might be black entertainment. Some of our actors, our comedians sometimes stay in character. Some of them don't. But you think about other genres like Marilyn Manson and rock and roll, you see him in interviews, he's acting like a regular person. He turns a lot of these things off. His persona in the music, he turns it off when he's conducting himself in interviews or just out in public, So yeah, I think that's probably a problem we have in black culture all together. All right, so let's go ahead and
no, bro. It's not a problem we have with black culture. It's a consumer relationship.
Let's just agree to disagree, man.
I'm just saying we're not gonna just get off and be like, it's a problem with black culture.
Now I will say this: it'd be nice to put on the screen.
That's black entertainment. Black entertainment.
This I want to say this in light of what Freshly's been doing this whole show. I'm a big believer in this particular quote. it's better to debate an issue without settling it than to settle an issue without debating it. So I do want to say he's an embodiment of that.
I ain't going out without a fight.
Man, hey, that's what's the name, Wilder. I'm gonna die on my